the female protagonist. It seems like every time they're announced in a new video game, there's always a problem with them. She looks chopped and altered from her original actress. She looks like a child. She reinforces harmful beauty standards. She looks unrealistic. You know, that sort. It's like for the past 5 years, every time one pops up, there's always a point of contention. You know, a new controversy every time you see one. There's always like heated discussions when it comes to female characters everywhere you look online and whenever there's a new one announced. And in those conversations, there seems to be a lot of talking over each other, a lot of missing the point, a lot of personal beliefs that don't really apply to what's being shown. I'm gonna take a third position on this thing. There's too many. There's too many of them. It's like they're way too prominent now. And plus, they don't even know how to write them. I mean, like, I'm kind of convinced now that the way they write these characters that women can't be heroes because everything they do is just self-serving. It's like everything they do is just they do to fill their hedonic needs. It's like there's nothing heroic about them. It's like they're just a symbol for girl power or something. It's like whenever I see a new female character, I just groan because I know that it's either going to be a political statement or debates about her appearance. And in those arguments, people don't seem to actually understand what the other is even saying. Like they make arguments out of stuff you never even said to call you weak, to call you insecure, to call you a chauvinist. In so many words. Like usually, whenever we ask for an attractive female character, we're not talking about like obnoxiously hot or obnoxiously sexy. We just want someone pleasant to look at. But they even take that in the worst way possible. They take that as I mean, oh, you just want someone to fuck. You can just go into on Rule 34. You know, she's not valuable if she can't be used on like Rule 34 or something. Which is nothing but a straw man. It's a binary with these people. They can only see two things, even though they believe that everything is fluid. They always only make it about sex, which is kind of funny coming from a side that is so sex positive that they have this like puritanical view of sex when it comes to like male sexuality. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say that sex plays no part in this. I mean, obviously we're sexual beings and we like attractive things. Case in point, we saw how feral these women went whenever they played as Leon Kennedy in the last Resident Evil game. How we heard about how the female devs worked meticulously to get every detail of him right. But it's only a problem when men express their wants in a female character. And they'll also say that the alteration of these characters don't even exist. While there are companies literally telling you what they're doing to these female characters and why they exist. And in the end, we get nowhere with this conversation. Now, when it comes to appearance in video games, there is a standard of beauty that men and even women gravitate towards in a woman: youth, body structure, fertility. these are the basic indicators of how attractive a person is. And to call that unrealistic and to villainize people who yearn for those things doesn't make that any different. What you're signaling is that you're against life. Beauty is a sign of life. It's a catalyst for ambition. And every time you rail against a character who looks conventionally beautiful, you're pretty much denying life. A purposefully chopped and disheveled character is just a sign of decay, which is what you seem to worship. This aversion to like conventionally beautiful characters really prove that point. I mean, like they hiss like cats at the thought of making someone conventionally attractive. Like what all people are asking for is just like normal, appealing looking characters. Nothing grotesque. It's not objectification to appreciate a beautiful character. In some cases, that may happen, but generally, the appreciation isn't sexual. These people take it the absolute worst way when you appreciate a pretty character. They think it's an attack on. They they really feel like a pretty woman is an attack on all women because it makes some women feel insecure about how they look. A pretty character can't just exist on her own. It has to mean something deeper than what is shown. But that goes back to like critical literacy, I guess. And as for like the argument of realism, you're setting a threshold for which people should base their expectations without ever wanting them to ask for anything more. It's like, why would I ask for something from the world to go into my fantasy? That defeats the purpose of fantasy. Well, obviously, you can use like real world things to make fantasy, but they take it to an extreme. Like we're accused of being man children for mocking uglier characters in games, but they're the ones crying over pretty characters. Normal people don't get upset over pretty characters. Like I'm kind of in agreement with the fact that I don't want to see cleavage or and whatnot in my female characters. That's I know that's a bit much for me, but others like it, I guess. But these game devs go a step beyond to not make them appealing at all. The people who make them unattractive on purpose, they're pretty much telling you to accept mediocrity and to worship them as they are. If not, you're a terrible person. You're not supposed to ask a lot from women, but they'll ask a lot from you. And if you look at a pretty character or an attractive character and you acknowledge them for their beauty, you're also a terrible person. You're reducing her to her looks, as they would say, because you're just reinforcing quote unquote outdated beauty conventions. They're basically saying the way that you view true beauty is bad, but the absence of beauty is good. And that's just the appearance. Character wise, they come across as obnoxious, combative for no reason, insincere, dismissive, and really bland sometimes. And in some instances, they don't even feel like characters in their own games. They just feel like an avatar for the authors or devs' political views or beliefs and stuff. They're like a medium to like talk about their traumas, their troubles, and all that. Just ruins the immersion of whatever you're playing. It's like these game developers don't have any ambition. You know, I said earlier that beauty is a catalyst for ambition, but these devs believe that you shouldn't want anything more than what you get. Just take what we give you, and if you don't, you're a bad person who needs to be shamed, ostracized, and called names. It's like a big power play rather than trying to cater to an audience. Everything has to be grounded, as in buried 6 feet below. And that doesn't really make a memorable character. That just makes someone you can find on the street, just passing through. Some unassuming person that you probably would forget the name of after you meet him or her. Now, as for the role of the hero itself, like the hero role was traditionally a male role. But here's the thing that these writers don't get about the male hero role, about the male hero, so to speak. The male hero's first goal is for the good of the people he's trying to save, to protect, to sacrifice himself for the greater good of whoever it is, whatever it is that he's doing. The female character, those traits aren't even the first priority for her, or if she has them at all. Like I said earlier, like every female hero story is a self-serving story about finding her true self, escaping something, or just to show those dumb males that she can be a hero. The new Supergirl movie's coming out, and I don't hear anything about her wanting to protect or save the world or anything. Like, it's a personal struggle story where true heroism isn't even the goal. And that's what I get out of all these female characters that come out in the West now. Do nothing for anybody else, indulge in their trauma, and girl boss their way through life. Nothing about sacrifice, nothing about protection. At least with God or Law-Face, she has a like Faye actually shows that she does care about her family at least. But that's one thing. It's like the West doesn't even know what a hero is anymore. They know it for males, at least. I mean, males haven't been really changed, really. It's the female heroes who've been changed to something that really isn't a hero, honestly. They're just a hero for the sake of their own pride. Which brings me to this. Like, I cannot name the top male heroes in the past 5 years, or even 10 years. I can't name one that is memorable or that has any cultural relevance. Like, if there is one, he's like narratively chopped like the character from Soros. What we get nowadays is male heroes from the past 20 to 30 years. Like, we still get Leon Kennedys, we still get Cloud Stripes, we still get Dante's. They're characters from 20 years ago. 20 or 30 years ago. I can't think of one new male character. But we get a lot of female characters that people pretend to like or prop up artificially, like Alloy, Atsu, the fucking character from Star Wars Outlaws, K-Nis, I guess. They end up being unlikable or bland or ultimately forgettable. But they're propped up by these companies and by these shills. What the whole female character debacle is all about is just altering how you feel about women and questioning women standing alongside men in society. And they want to be seen as equal to men without actually understanding what that would even mean. They just see the fruits of what the male experience is, but never goes deeper than that to try and understand it. And what manifests out of that is a defective, toxic man. And those are all the female characters that have came out for the past 5 years in all entertainment. Like, essentially, you're saying to women that you're not as valuable if you're not heroic like a man. When there are when there are ways that women can be valuable, a mother, you know, heeding authority, they hate they seem to have they seem to hate to heed authority. They hate submissiveness. They love the idea of autonomy. Not saying it's bad or anything, but they overrate it. They seem to hate the fact to have a duty to another. Like the idea of being saved by a man has been killed because that's been considered outdated. Like needing help is bad now for a woman. It needed to be saved. It's like a failure on her part now. It's seen as a total failure. Like you don't get those damsel in distress stories anymore. Which I argue that's more natural than what we get now. I mean, how many times you had a woman ask you to go kill a bug or something, or lift up this heavy thing, or to do this manly thing or whatever? You can't escape it. So by making these female characters the way that they're doing now, pretty much takes away what makes them women, what makes them uniquely women. But we live in this like gender fluid culture now where we don't have a real stance on what masculine and feminine even is. And without those conventions, everything feels it's kind of like a monkey's paw. Like, yes, you can abandon what your natural traits are, but then you replace it with something that isn't natural to you, something that will distort your being. And then it kind of off puts the other sex. And maybe that's why we have this divide among the genders now. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. I do kind of have female character fatigue a bit because I know why they're made. You know why they're made. People are gonna argue. People are gonna crash out. So and it's all because of a woman character. It's like they're getting more representation now, but it seems like no matter what, they can't win. So I just leave it there, and I'll see you next time.